There was great wonder and many dark and doubtful glances among his men when Eomer gave orders that the spare horses were to be lent to the strangers. But only Eothane dared to speak openly. "It may be well enough for this lord of the race of Gondor, as he claims," he said, "but who has heard of a horse of the mark being given to a dwarf?" "No one," said Gimli, "and do not trouble. No one will ever hear of it. I would sooner walk than sit on the back of any beast so great, free or begrudged." "But you must ride now, or you will hinder us," said Aragorn. "Come, you shall sit behind me, friend Gimli," said Legolas. "Then all will be well, and you need neither borrow a horse nor be troubled by one." Gimli was lifted up behind his friend, and he clung to him not much more at ease than Sam Gamgee in a boat.
Hey there, gang. I'm Danny J.
And I'm Joel N.
I'm Trevor D.
And together we are, indeed,
Keep on Tolkien.
Yeah. That's an interesting opening excerpt. I just realized something while you were reading that, Joel.
What's that?
These two are ignorant of their own past.
How do you
Remember
mean?
the Northmen and the dwarves traded knowledge all the time. Their ancestors traded horses and knowledge all the time.
So it wouldn't be that strange.
It wouldn't be all that strange for a man of the mark or Northmen, right before they were the men of the mark, to ride, or do anything with horses. And the horses, they specifically, remember, we learned the dwarves traded 4 horses.
They did, yeah. They needed them for work.
Anyway, welcome to KOT.
Yeah, welcome. We're diving right in.
Don't you love it when we just get right to fuck into it?
Well, welcome back, everyone. Today is episode 121.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is a special one. This is Friendship is Magic Part 2.
Yes, that's right.
If you guys remember, we did a Friendship is Magic Part 1 fucking over 80 episodes ago.
Yeah, it was episode 38. My God.
Yep.
Wow.
We're coming up on 100 episodes ago. My goodness.
Yeah, that was the one we dedicated to. It's funny because we know him now, Joe Vasky. We dedicated it to him.
Yeah, he's a regular now.
Because he was suffering from Hodgkin's lymphoma, which he's in complete remission from for years now.
You might say that the magic of our friendship
maybe helped. Yeah, we're going to take credit. We're going to take credit. It's not the...
Definitely wasn't the chemo.
It's not the University of Minnesota and their cutting edge transplant that they did. No.
No,
it was us.
No. Nay.
With our episode. Nay, it was us with our episode. He's going to love this bit. But so we did that a long, long time ago. And friendship is significant to this podcast, right? I mean, it's all kind of started on friendship. We're all literally... everyone who works on this podcast is some of the best friends that I have,
Exactly.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's just...
and that's why we started with one of the most iconic friendships, I think, in the whole legendarium, Sam Gamgee and Frodo.
Right, yeah, the quintessential, I would say. Friendship example.
But today for part 2, we're probably going to be covering... a very close second, if not some people's favorite friendship.
You could argue that this one is more significant because it starts off on the wrong foot, really.
It does, and it's a little more strange, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're talking about, of course, the friendship between Legolas and Gimli, if you might have guessed from that opening excerpt.
Of course.
Friend Gimli. But let's take a second and just talk about why the friendship's kind of significant, why we're going to talk about it. And put simply, it's because Legolas is an elf and Gimli's a dwarf. And they're very, very different people who come from 2 very different societies that generally don't get along, historically.
Yeah, but these 2 end up becoming fast friends. And their strong bond is arguably what gives them the strength to complete this impossible mission.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, they lean hard on that friendship to get the job done.
They really do. And I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't mention kind of the threesome friendship with Aragorn, the 3 hunters.
Right.
Yeah, they're kind of a
Those
throuple.
3 bros really go through it, and they get tight.
Yeah, I would say that the Broken Fellowship is probably almost as tight of friendship as the Frodo and Sam one.
Yeah.
Inseparable dude. I mean, these guys love each other for the rest of their fucking lives, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
But Legolas and Gimli, as we know, have something a little special.
Yes.
So today, our conversation is going to cover three main topics regarding the friendship of Legolas and Gimli. We're going to talk about the history of animosity between the dwarves and the elves first, just to give us a little context, how unusual this is. We're also going to talk about the history and development of Legolas and Gimli's relationship through the story. We're going to just kind of cover a few points.
Cover the highlights.
Some fun excerpts and highlights. And then at the end, we're going to kind of discuss the significance of the relationship a little further.
Yeah, what it means to the overall legendarium, right? The macro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because I feel like, at least with most of the knowledge I have, it's like they're sort of rivals for a while.
It's almost like
in the
friendly,
beginning,
Yeah, they start as rivals and then they kind of become like friends and then friendly rivals, even like I love let's dive into it, guys. Let's get in there.
Let's start off with everyone's favorite subject, hatred among the races. Right?
Yeah, let's cover the history of animosity here.
Yeah.
So the races of elves and dwarves have long had a history of distrust and animosity towards each other.
Forever.
For pretty much ever, and some of this animosity is blatant racism.
Yeah,
I think Tolkien was definitely trying to point that out.
Right, it was xenophobia,
and how it's and how it can have a lot of pretty negative effects,
negative consequences. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the elves generally see the dwarves as being ugly and rude.
Completely, yeah.
And the dwarves generally see the elves as being uptight and haughty.
Yeah, it's kind of
like better than thou, judgmental.
Seem a little prideful.
Yeah,
at times.
Is that like the Minnesota-Wisconsin relationship, right? They think we're uptight and haughty, and we're like, you're ugly and rude. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We love Wisconsin.
We're just fucking Wisconsin.
I literally moved across the river now. I am technically in Wisconsin. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone. Yeah, but also some of this animosity between the two races is rooted in actual conflicts throughout history.
Right.
So let's touch on some of that. Let's go all the way back, way back to the First Age, in the early days of the First Age.
Yeah, and this could be called first contact, this moment.
It is. Yeah. We actually talked about this a little bit, I think.
Hold on. Are you making the dwarves sound like aliens right now?
Well, no. I mean, they call in history, they call that, like, when the Columbian Exchange happened, they call that first contact, right? Like when the old world and new world met, right? Like that
contact between two races.
It didn't really go well, right? In our world.
Rarely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, another example of that here.
It didn't really go well here, too. Let's get into it.
So when the elves first began inhabiting Beleriand, they saw some strange little creatures running around, and they didn't quite understand what they were. So the elves would just kind of shoot at them and sometimes hunt them for sport. I don't think they ate them.
No.
But
hopefully not. Jesus
yes,
Christ.
These were the dwarves. Most likely, they were mostly petty dwarves. But nonetheless, this definitely began a very early, stoking animosity between the two races. Well, mostly on the dwarf side. They did not appreciate that.
And I think this is a little bit like the Ender's Game thing. Like, I don't think they quite realized that they were dealing with a sentient group of people here. I don't think they would have hunt them in the way that because the Quendi, right? They call themselves the Quendi. Remember what that means? Those who speak with voices, right?
Yes.
They're the first creatures that have ever spoken that they know of, right? And so this is like first contact, like we said. And because they look so different and they act so different, they assume these are beasts, right?
Of some kind.
Some kind, yeah. It's not a good first contact. We'll put it that way.
Yeah,
right?
and then the dwarves also saw them as,
usurpers, kind of.
Usurpers.
They come into a land that's not theirs, and they try to like Meme says. Remember, they started renaming all the things.
Yes, they came and started renaming everything. The elves came. They came and settled the land and started changing everything. The dwarves didn't like that.
Little colonizers.
Yeah, they colonized a bit. It's true, and the dwarves didn't appreciate that.
No.
So moving forward in the First Stage, there's a conflict that really put the nail in the coffin. When most folks refer to the conflict between the elves and the dwarves and where it started,
what they're talking about.
This is typically where what they point to it really starting. So back in the First Age, year 502, the Elven King Thingol of Doriath had hired the dwarves of the kingdom of Nagrod nearby in the Blue Mountains to do a task for him. He wanted them to set a Silmaril, one of the famous Feanorian jewels, into another very famous piece of jewelry, a dwarven necklace known as the Nauglamir, one of the best pieces of jewelry the dwarves had ever made.
Yeah.
He wanted to combine the King Thingol, the elf, he wanted to combine the two into basically one of the most amazing pieces of jewelry anyone had ever seen.
Okay, but I mean, that's no small task.
No,
right?
not at all.
The Silmarils are the most precious and mysterious gems in the entire world. I mean, even the gods didn't know how they were made.
Yeah. No,
nor could they even break them themselves.
Yeah, they couldn't break them. They wanted to get the knowledge from Feanor, but he wouldn't tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's why Yavanna couldn't replenish the trees, because she couldn't break them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like Thingol, he's super, super rich, right? And he likes really good shit. So who's he going to hire to do cool shit? But the best smiths he can find, right? And who's that? But the dwarves of the Blue Mountains, right?
Yeah, come a long way from hunting, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So when the necklace was completed and the dwarves were getting ready to, present it to him, they ultimately refused to hand the necklace over to King Thingol. The dwarves claimed that King Thingol had no right to the Nauglamir.
They're not really wrong.
It's true. You think they would have brought it up first?
Right. Yeah, you think they would just straight up. Yeah.
I mean, I think
your
jewel.
That shows a little bit right there. But ultimately, the dwarves, they reference the fact that the necklace was originally gifted to the elven king Finrod Felagund, not Elu Thingol.
Right, and these are two different types of elves, right? Thingol is the leader of the Sindar elves, the Grey elves, right? And Felagund is one of the high princes of the Noldor, right? So
yeah, Thingol,
two totally different groups of people, right?
Yeah, very different. He's like, we gave it to this guy, not to you. We understand you have it now, but
and the only reason you have it is because Hurin
plundered it,
and then gave it to you as in scorn, really, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so
So
Thingol then becomes pretty overwhelmed with anger, and because he wants this thing, and he insults the dwarves. Some attribute this super anger kind of towards the feature of the Silmaril where people kind of end up coveting it,
right?
Like the ring,
the lust for
the lust for it may have been part of what drove him to be so insulting and angry, but it was too much for the dwarves, and at that, the dwarves were so insulted and angry that they claimed the jewel for their own, and they kill Thingol right then and there.
Whoopsie doopsie.
We have a excerpt about this scene from the Silmarillion, chapter 12 of The Ruin of Doriath, read by Danny.
By what right does the Elven King lay claim to the Nauglamir that was made by our fathers for Finrod Felagund, who is dead? It is come to him but by the hands of Hurin, the man of Dorloman, who took it as a thief out of the darkness of Nargothrond. But Thingol perceived their hearts, and saw well that, desiring the Silmaril, they sought but a pretext and fair cloak for their true intent. And in his wrath and pride he gave no heed to his peril, but spoke to them in scorn, saying, How do ye of uncouth race dare to demand aught of me, Elu Thingol, Lord of Beleriand, whose life began by the waters of Cuivienen, years uncounted, ere the fathers of the stunted people awoke? And standing tall and proud among them, he bade them with shameful words be gone unrequited out of Doriath. Then the lust of the dwarves was kindled to rage by the words of the king, and they rose up about him, and laid hands on him, and slew him as he stood. So died in the deep places of Menegroth Elwë Singollo, king of Doriath, who alone of all the children of Iluvatar was joined with one of the Ainur, and he who alone of the Forsaken Elves had seen the light of the trees of Valinor, with his last sight, gazed upon the Silmaril.
The loss of Thingol, I've always had mixed feelings about it.
It is a mixed feelings kind of thing.
It's a mixed bag, because Thingol has done some pretty shitty things, and he's done some good things, but he's kind of ending on a little negative note here.
Yeah. It sucks because I like Thingol a lot more now that I did the Children of Hurin series.
Yeah, it's hard to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one who's wondering what shameful words he yelled them out of Doriath?
He bade
with?
them, yeah.
I mean,
Get the fuck out of here!
What level did he rise to get
he
murdered?
Kicked one of them.
I mean, a couple of the things in that dialogue alone are pretty racist and spicy right there.
Ye of uncouth race. I love that. Imagine saying that to somebody today. Holy shit.
Geez,
To the fathers of the stunted people.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He goes pretty
bueno.
hard, man.
Yeah, he gets real. Yeah, he gets real racist. It's like one of those people in the like super nice Midwestern people, but then they have a few drinks and they start making those kind of jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's those folks.
That's this guy.
You're like, what year is it?
yeah.
So after Thingol has been killed, the dwarves, they are in return obviously attacked by Thingol's guards and elves.
Yeah, they're all,
And-
what the hell, man?
Right. Yeah. And those dwarves are all slain except for two. There are two that get away, and those two return back to the kingdom of Nogrod, and they report that Thingol had tried to rip them off and not pay them for their work.
Oh, those
so
lying
they had
bastards.
tried to claim, the jewel as payment, and then, Thingol tried to kill them, is what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we get into the I don't know if it's miscommunications, like the mixing ups of the stories. Like this is where the disconnect begins to happen.
Yeah, because it is claimed that these two are the only two that know the truth, right?
Right.
But at the same time, that's probably not really the case
Right.
in real life. It's one of those like historical things where it's like so gray and murky.
Right. Like it's true they agreed to do this and then they backed out on it after it was done, but then also Thingol was being pretty fucking terrible in the things that he was saying and some of the things. Yeah, it's murky waters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is where a lot of the animosity comes from.
Yeah.
And so the dwarves of Nogrod, they become furious at this news and they send an entire army of dwarves to go sack Thingol's fortress of Menegroth, the capital of Doriath. And they sack Menegroth and they get away with all of its treasure, including the Nauglamir, with that Silmaril set in it.
And how do they do that? That's the thing. You may be asking, right? Because what about the girdle of Melian, right?
Right.
Melian fucked off right after Thingol is killed.
Yes.
So the girdle goes down, guys. We are totally unprotected, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, like that's why these dwarves were able to get in there. This never would have happened with the girdle of Melian, right?
I totally forgot about
You
that.
forgot
even.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, in mourning, Melian, she
Yeah,
left.
She left, went to
She
Valinor.
left for Valinor.
I think she went to the Gardens of Lorien, didn't she? Or
think so.
something like that, yeah.
And so they were left open to attack, and attacked they were.
Yes.
And however, on their way home from sacking Menegroth, the dwarven army is waylaid by an army of green elves.
The Leila Quendi.
The Leila Quendi, led by Baron, fun enough.
Yeah.
Fun fact. But all of the elves all of the dwarves then are killed, and the Nauglamir is retrieved. However, all the treasure is actually lost at the bottom of a river and kind of becomes cursed.
Yeah, the River Askar, right?
That's a lot of back and forth between these two. Like,
It is.
There's a whole lot of wrongdoing.
For one potential
yeah.
misunderstanding.
There's a whole lot of wrongdoing on both sides here.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
It did.
But
yeah.
moving forward with our history of animosity, let's jump over to the Third Age real quick, where there's one more event that we want to talk about.
Yeah, it's been simmering now for thousands of years.
And this is a little more directly related to our characters.
Yeah, this one. This is where this whole ancient beef becomes a modern beef. Really. And this is in more recent history. Right? This is when the elves of Mirkwood, who are Sylvan elves, ruled over by Sindar elves, right? If you remember your history. And these are the dwarves of the Longbeard clan. And
that originally came from Moria, then they also inhabited the Lonely Mountain for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Those guys. Yeah, the Longbeards are pretty much the only dwarves we hear like specific stories about in the Third Age. There's not many other dwarves around, right? As far as I can remember. Yeah, a lot of Longbeards.
A lot of Longbeards. The Blue Mountains had a couple different clans as well, but the Longbeards, they came from Khazad Dûm, and they also inhabited Erebor. So they're kind of the main clans we hear about in Tolkien pretty much all the time.
Well, I suppose geographically that makes sense, but it's where the most stories
Centric to the world, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the year 2941 of the Third Age, during the events of the Quest of Erebor, the dwarves of Thorin and company were captured by the elven king of Mirkwood, Thranduil, who happens to be Legolas's father. And one of the dwarves that were captured happens to be Glóin, which is Gimli's father.
Ooh.
So now we're getting into some pretty direct conflict between their families. Not even considering all the animosity between dwarves and elves coming up to now.
It's getting personal now.
It's getting pretty personal, yeah. We may know that Bilbo and the dwarves had been lost in Mirkwood for a while and were starving when they happened upon some elves feasting in the woods. This is, from the Hobbit, and being desperate for food, the dwarves tried to come forth out of the woods and introduce themselves, but the elves kept, scattering, disappearing. Poof.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny part.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting. Yeah, it's kind of a funny part.
That's why we made that joke.
The joke about the tables.
Yeah,
and then packing up real fast.
Yeah, they're the best bus boys.
The best at bussing tables in the entire Middle Earth. But yeah, this whole them coming out and then the elves going poof and disappearing goes back and forth a couple times until the elves finally capture the dwarves and say, "We're capturing you because you've kept trying to attack us while we were feasting."
No, brother, we were just trying to eat, man. We were trying to join the feast, brother.
Yeah. Again, another misunderstanding. They were quite literally starving to death.
Yes.
And so, again, this bad blood even bubbles back up during the Council of Elrond. I love when this comes up.
It comes back up, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as Legolas is explaining to the council that Gollum has escaped their imprisonment in Mirkwood. This is, he talks about how they asked him how Gollum got away, and they were like, well, we couldn't just keep him locked in a dungeon. Yeah. We wanted to show him some sunlight and let him climb a tree. He was begging for it. And this is when Glóin, the dwarf, comments. He pipes up and talks and mentions how they were so much nicer to Gollum than they ever were to the dwarves.
It's true.
We've got a fun excerpt here from the Fellowship of the Ring, Book 2, Chapter 2, The Council of Elrond, read by Trevor.
"You were less tender to me," said Glóin with a flash of his eyes, as old memories were stirred of his imprisonment in the deep places of the Elven King's halls. "Now come," said Gandalf. "Pray, do not interrupt, my good Glóin. That was a regrettable misunderstanding long set right. If all the grievances that stand between elves and dwarves were to be brought up here, we may as well abandon this council."
Well said.
Yeah, he's making we might as well, just give up right now.
Yeah.
If we can't get past this.
Right. There's clearly more animosity here than just this. We're not going to unpack it all.
Yeah.
But I love that excerpt. I thought that was actually kind of a great place to end our recap on the animosity between elves and dwarves.
Yeah.
Because if we were to, litigate everything, we'd be here all day.
Yeah.
Just like Gandalf said.
You guys mentioned that their fathers met. Do you think that's a thing they bonded over? You think they talk about each other's dads to each other?
Maybe, yeah.
And that's like one of the reasons they're such good. But it's like your dad knew my dad.
Well, I mean, Glóin, I don't know. Thranduil's an asshole, in my opinion.
Thranduil is kind of an asshole. It's true.
Glóin, he's never done anything that, he's a dwarf. He's a little grumpy dwarf or whatever.
Dwarves are always kind of naturally assholes. It's true.
Yeah, but this dude is wrongfully imprisoning people and stuff.
Yeah,
and what? And refusing to feed starving people in the woods. What the hell? What the hell?
So really, this was just Legolas apologizing to Gimli most of the time they talked about it.
In my opinion, it should have been.
Sorry, my dad sucks, bro.
Should have been.
Yeah, there's no way Legolas doesn't have daddy issues with the way that guy acts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love how in the Hobbit movie they tried to give him mommy issues. Is what they tried to do.
Yeah.
Should have been daddy issues.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's jump into the fun part. The part of this episode that everyone's waiting for. Let's talk about the history of the friendship between Gimli and Legolas.
Yay, because friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic, and we're going to talk about all of it.
All of it.
Well, we're really going to just kind of talk about a lot of the major events throughout the Lord of the Rings and some fun dialogue between the two, and we'll just watch their relationship develop a little bit for us. So,
yeah. I say we start with when they first met.
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
We actually read a story about that on Patreon one time. Do you remember the time they met?
That was a bit spicier than I think.
It was
a reimagining of their first meeting, I think. If you know, you know. It was...
If you know, you know.
Well, okay, so Legolas the elf and Gimli the dwarf, we got to make it clear. They first met in Rivendell on October 25th in the Third Age, 3018.
Yes, that magic year where everything happens, right?
Yeah, they both were coming to see Elrond. They needed some counsel.
Yeah, of course.
And both ended up inadvertently being invited to the Council of Elrond, as we know was famously impromptu.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, people didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, all these people just happened to be showing up looking for help at the same time, and
have a meeting,
Elrond
everybody.
was like, "This is perfect. Let's have a meeting."
What if you and your homies all showed up at the Plug's house at the same time, and then you just turns out there's a council to decide the fate of the world there, and you're just like, "Oh, I guess I'll stay."
Shit, sign me up.
Yeah, I'll stay for a bit,
Yeah, pack another Yeah, so Legolas had come from Mirkwood as a messenger from his father Thranduil, the king of the elves. He was ultimately coming to bring news of the escape of Gollum and ask for advice. Gimli had come as a messenger from King Dane of the Lonely Mountain, along with a few other dwarves like his father.
Yeah,
and
they also had bad news.
They also had bad news. Yeah, they had come to discuss the fact that a black rider had visited them like twice now, looking for Bilbo Baggins.
And said the third time will be the last time they talk.
So, yeah, both there for some pretty pressing reasons. And when it is determined that Frodo, later on in the council, when it's determined that Frodo will attempt to take the One Ring to Mordor to destroy it for good, this is when we get, you'll have my bow and my axe. And Gimli, Legolas, he selflessly first volunteers himself for the mission on behalf of the elves.
Yeah.
And almost in response, Gimli then volunteers to join the Fellowship on behalf of the dwarves, at least in part because, Legolas volunteered first, and Gimli doubted the elf's intentions.
Yeah, he's like, if this asshole's going,
trust you.
Yeah, I better just keep an eye on this.
They're
personally.
sending one of those stuck-up elves. Yeah. We might get one of us dwarves going.
Who knows what he might do with the ring?
Right.
Okay, so their first real clash occurred before the doors of Durin, in a brief dispute over whose fault it was, the elves or the dwarves, that the friendship between the two races had waned over time.
Yeah, like when you have a beef so hard with somebody that one of the beefs becomes who started the beef.
Right.
Right?
I mean, they did that. They kind of did that in the Tales from the Shire game that we just did the review
yeah,
for.
That's true. That's true. They did. Yeah. I don't even remember who. Yeah, I've had fights with that with like friends too. Like I mean, me and Joel. You probably think of a couple times.
When we
fought for a while, and then we'd be like, I don't even remember what started this.
I don't even know. It's been years.
It's been years now. Yeah.
So, Gandalf, but he quickly intervenes in this situation here, and we've got an excerpt that Joel's going to read to us about this.
Gandalf said, "Those were happier days, when there was still close friendship at times between folk of different races, even between dwarves and elves." "It was not the fault of the dwarves that the friendship waned," said Gimli. "I have not heard that it was the fault of the elves," said Legolas. "I have heard both," said Gandalf, "and I will not give judgment now. But I beg you to, Legolas and Gimli, at least to be friends, and to help me. I need you both."
Gandalf's got a way with words, man.
Yeah, Gandalf's, yeah.
He's like the best, mediator ever. I love him. I wish we had a real-life Gandalf to help us.
Yeah, seriously. If there's any fictional character that's needed today more than anything, it's fucking Gandalf.
It's funny because we've said that before, previously, in previous times.
And it gets more and more relevant every time.
It's more and more, yeah.
No, it's funny too because he's just like, I've heard both. Honestly, let's not talk about it right now because if I were to weigh in on it, you guys, neither one of you would probably like it.
Yeah, no. Let's just.
And it would be a waste of energy and time.
Exactly. We've got bigger things going on right now. We're stuck in the mines of Moria.
Just like Tobey Maguire said in Spider-Man 2, there are bigger things than you and me here, right? Does he say that too?
Yeah. That might have been 3.
Is that 3? That's 3. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up my Sam Raimi films. It was Evil Dead 2, right?
Well, another incident in their developing friendship happens when they come to the Chamber of Muzabul. And when they're attacked by orcs, Legolas kills 2 before following the others out the east door, and he actually has to drag Gimli away from Balin's tomb. So, clearly he's at least looking out for the guy at this point. And Legolas and Gimli, they actually clash again with words when entering Lothlorien. As this one's a little bit lighter, but you can tell that the tension is still there. They've just lost Gandalf right now, so I don't think either of them are really looking for a fight, but they're obviously still not quite seeing eye to eye. So at this point, Legolas is singing the song of Nimrodel, and Legolas explains to the hobbits that the song of Nimrodel is very sad because it tells how sorrow came to Lothlorien after the dwarves awoke the evil Balrog hiding under the mountain. And Gimli chimes in and defensively says, "But the dwarves did not make the evil." And Legolas responds with, "I said not so. Yet evil came." You might not have made it, but...
You might not have intended for bad things to happen, but your greed kind of led for bad things to happen.
And then they clash again in Lothlorien. When I think this is probably the last major clash they have.
Yeah, this one's the funniest too. This in my opinion,
this is the funniest because it's so
this
stubborn.
Is so petty. Yeah,
so petty.
These are like my children. Like this is what it reminds me of. Just like my 8 and 10-year-old. Like what the fuck? This is how they're behaving.
Yeah, so this is when the wood elves of Lothlorien say that they must blindfold Gimli before they bring him into the heart of the forest.
You got a dwarf there. Yeah,
and naturally, Gimli gets all huffed up and upset, and he insists that if he has to wear a blindfold, then Legolas should also wear a blindfold.
Oh my God.
Just singles him out.
Yeah.
And Legolas curses the stiff necks of the dwarves, and what was it? It was Aragorn, right? Who ultimately
Aragorn says, "Let's all wear blindfolds."
Yeah, Aragorn diffuses it and says, "Well,
which is the reasonable thing to say, but I love how Gimli's like, no, he's got to wear one too. It could have been like, no, we all have to wear them then.
Fucking elf has to wear
No, just me and him, dude. Yeah.
So we're getting to the turning point in their friendship.
Yeah.
So
the ice is starting to break a little bit.
The ice is starting to break.
Yeah.
So Gimli and Legolas's opinions of each other finally begin to change after Gimli meets Galadriel and has kind of a change of heart.
Yeah.
You had to meet the closest thing Middle-earth has to angels, in a way?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, Galadriel's beauty, kindness, and understanding impressed Gimli so much that when given the opportunity to ask for any gift he wishes, he responds saying that he would want to hear and see her gentle gifts, and that's enough, right?
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Just seeing and hearing her that's enough.
That's enough.
Which is, aww, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when pressed further, Gimli admits that he desires a single strand of Galadriel's golden hair to be an heirloom of his house, but that he could not ask for that because that would be crazy.
What respect?
Yeah.
Does he just want it because it glows?
Well, I mean,
he's enamored with her, and yes, her hair does glow with the light of the trees, does it not?
It does, yes, because it's funny you should bring that up, Trevor, because Feanor asked on several occasions for Galadriel's hair,
yeah, she denied
and she told him
time
to go fuck himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when he was originally trying to design the Silmarils.
Yeah,
he wanted one of her hairs to start with.
He literally designed the Silmarils out of angst that he couldn't have a piece of her hair.
Which already naturally held the light.
And that fucking drove him crazy that something could capture the magic light like that, and he devised something that did that himself. What a proactive guy.
Wait, hold on. But he's doing that out of spite in a way?
You could say.
Everything Feanor does is sort of...
everything he does is kind of spiteful.
Yeah.
Or prideful.
Yeah.
What a terrible emotion to create the Silmarils out of.
It's funny that they are kind of created in jealousy, and what do they create in people but jealousy?
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's funny. That's a good observation, Trev.
But as I'm sure most of us know, Galadriel is so moved by Gimli's humility that she actually gives him not one, but 3 of the golden hairs on her head.
Yeah, dude.
And I think he says later on his plan is to encase them in gems, and they'll be heirlooms of his house, which is almost like
Dwarven Silmarils.
Pseudo-Silmarils.
Yeah.
Exactly. The light of the trees, once again, emitting from gems.
What if that was Tolkien's...
Goes even deeper.
Yeah, what if that was Tolkien's big sequel that he never wrote? Like, the whole shit happens, like, all that awful shit happens again because of the Dwarven Silmarils?
No.
History repeats itself.
The Galadmarils.
no.
Yeah, the Galadmarils.
Imagine the kinslayings between the dwarves. It'd be terrible.
The Longbeards slew the Firebeards.
No, the Stonefoots.
The Stonewoods. All dead.
Yeah, so ultimately, after this whole back and forth scene and Gimli's gesture of respect and humility towards Galadriel, Legolas sees this and is very moved. His opinion of Gimli changes.
Yeah, I mean that kind of happens with with friends, right? Like if you have somebody you don't know very well, but you have a mutual friend, and you see them like be really respectful and nice to your friend, and you see that they have a tight relationship, you're like, oh. Maybe I should lighten up on this person a little bit.
Well, while in Lorien, Gimli actually ended up accompanying Legolas on many walks after this through the woods. Because as we know, they stayed in Lorien for a while. And through these frequent walks together, an unlikely friendship between the two began to blossom. We got a lovely little excerpt about this from The Fellowship of the Ring, Chapter 7, The Mirror of Galadriel, read by Danny.
Legolas was away much with the Galadrium, and after the first night he did not sleep with the other companions, though he returned to eat and to talk with them. Often he took Gimli with him when he went abroad in the land, and the others wondered at this change.
Pretty distinct change from the two of them being at each other's throats all the time. Now they're actually like buds.
Now they're hanging out, yeah.
I mean,
did Legolas invite Gimli, or did Gimli just tag along?
I think Legolas
you would have
invited,
to. I don't think the other elves would let him come with if it weren't by the personal invitation of the elf. Yeah.
Right, good point.
Yeah, no, I would say he vouched for the dude. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all right.
But I love
like
this
that.
because how many of us have gained a friend that you were at first like enemies with? Somebody you didn't like at first, or you fought with at first, and you guys actually ended up being friends.
That's me and you. I didn't like. I hate to fucking bring this up, but I didn't like Joel very much in high school. We weren't super good. We hung out kind of in the same circles. And I didn't
have any high opinions of you at that time. I was like, oh, he's a leftist Democrat.
Yeah, I was a young Democratic socialist at the time, and most people didn't agree with me at our high school.
Hiss.
But so Joel. Joel was he was not into the things that I was into, but we started hanging out after high school, and that's when we really started to become good friends. And now we have a goddamn podcast together.
Things clicked.
But yeah, things clicked. It was because of a mutual friend that turned out to be a not good friend.
But I just love that concept. Two people who started disliking each other or hating each other and fighting, becoming friends. Because I love when those types of friendships blossom because they tend to be pretty close.
Yeah, I never hated you. I just thought you were like weird Catholic kid.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't think there were kids at our high school that I definitely hated. You weren't one of them though. But yes, unlikely friendships. And another place. This is kind of funny, Joel. Gimli and Legolas, they become really strong friends. On the river, right? Just like we did.
Yeah.
Hanging out down by the river.
That's right.
Doing things.
Stuff.
Things and stuff down by the river.
Stuff and things.
Yep, stuff and things.
I love the stupid phrase, stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Because that originated from that terrible Walking Dead line, right? That the main character
doing
says,
stuff, Lord.
Things.
Doing stuff, Lori.
Something like
That's
that. Yeah.
things.
I mean, I don't think I'm,
Stuff and things like went down in history.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first early like memes. I loved that shit so much.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a great writer, but wow, Walking Dead's writing. Holy shit. Yeah. Sorry.
Stuff and things.
Down by the river. By the riverside. Gimli and Legolas. Gimli fucking snipes one of the Felbeasts straight out of the air, right? They like sense the Felbeast above them.
Man, that'd be so cool if Gimli could do that.
Yeah. Did I say Gimli did
Yeah.
that? Oh, damn. What if he did it? Yeah, what if he did it with an axe?
As you were saying that, I was trying to think, when did that?
Cool.
I'm trying to think of Gimli
How did he do it?
getting
Yeah.
up in his boat and throwing an axe into the sky.
Yeah, could you imagine they're just like in the middle of a conversation, Gimli's like, hold on a sec. Fucking Felbeast. Yeah, you just hear it go off into the night, yeah. No, okay. Legolas.
Off in the distance, what the fuck?
Legolas the archer
Yes.
snipes a Felbeast from the night sky when nobody else can even see it, right?
Yeah, and Gimli's got to give him big ups for that.
Yeah, I mean that'd be hard to not respect, you know what I mean?
Right. I love the scene on the river because they also end up sharing a boat too, which is very nice for Gimli because Gimli was not quite comfortable in boats.
Yeah.
And so once again, kind of like in the opening excerpt with the horses.
Yep.
Legolas once again he's like, "Hey, you can come in my boat, friend Gimli.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with these here boats."
Yeah. And I love how like by the time Two Towers rolls around, these dudes are like
experts.
ready to die for each other, actually.
Oh,
like
they're ride or die.
Yeah. Like, holy shit, yeah. Well, that's what the opening excerpt was, right? Like the whole
Yeah,
they're ready to lay down, throw hands for each other if they have to, you know?
Oh, we're gonna get to that scene with the
sorry,
road
that wasn't the opening excerpt. Sorry. We're getting to that excerpt. Sorry, y'all.
So let's jump to Boromir's death. After Boromir dies and the Fellowship is separated, and Merry and Pippin are captured, this is when we get the three hunters, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. And we kind of touched on this earlier. It's hard to not mention the cool-ass friendship of the three of them. They become such tight fucking buds.
Yeah.
And they have, their pursuit across Rohan to go capture their other two rescue their other two captured friends.
Yeah.
It's nothing but love.
It's all about friendship
And helping
love.
each other.
Friendship is magic.
And then, of course, this is when the three hunters come across a band of riders of Rohan led by Éomer, and Legolas stands up for his friend, when they have that confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
So as the three hunters explain to Éomer that they had recently come from Lothlorien, Éomer comments that in Rohan they believe the Lady of the Wood to be a witch.
A witch!
Not good words to speak in front of the recently converted Gimli the dwarf who loves Galadriel.
Oh yeah, that's quite an insult.
Yeah, no, this super offends him, and he starts to get pretty testy. And this is the
Zerp I was thinking of. Sorry, y'all. I got so excited because I love this part.
Well, this is like you said. This is like ride or die.
Yeah,
like this is one of the first times they really show that.
You know what's really funny? I was thinking of as we were reading this in review too. I think Tolkien might have been a low key badass because this dialogue here is a bunch of like tough guy dialogue. Tough guys being tough guys.
Oh yeah,
because I always thought of Tolkien as a kind of a meek and mild dude because I know how he feels about like anti-war and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he was a soldier and shit. Was like maybe he was super tough and badass.
I mean, he was around a lot of badass trench dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's funny because he clearly knew how to talk like a tough guy because this is tough guy dialogue right here.
He nailed it.
So let's hear some tough guy dialogue. We got Trev reading this? Two Towers, Book 3, Chapter 2, Riders of Rohan.
Gimli rose and planted his feet firmly apart. His hand gripped the handle of his axe, and his eyes flashed. "Give me your name, horse master, and I will give you mine, and more besides," he said. "As for that," said the rider, staring down at the dwarf, "the stranger should declare himself first. Yet I am named Éomer, son of Éomund, and am called Third Marshal of Riddermark." "Then Éomer, son of Éomund, Third Marshal of Riddermark, let Gimli the dwarf, Glóin's son, warn you against foolish words. You speak evil of that which is fair beyond the reach of your thought, and only little wit can excuse you." Éomer's eyes blazed, and the men of Rohan murmured angrily and closed in, advancing their spears. "I would cut off your head, beard and all, Master Dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground," said Éomer. "He stands not alone," said Legolas, bending his bow and fitting an arrow with hands that moved quicker than sight. "You would die before your stroke fell." Éomer raised his sword, and things might have gone ill, but Aragorn sprang between them.
Yeah, they're ready to throw down.
I always think of the movie and how loyal it was to this scene with the dialogue too. When I hear this, I loved that scene.
No, that scene is this is honestly one of my favorite scenes in the Two Towers is my favorite book of the trilogy, and the movie is my favorite of the trilogy as well. And this is one of my favorite scenes in one of my favorite books. So like this, and it's so good in both the movie and the book because they rip it right from the pages. Like, yeah, it's so good. Like, it's all the cool lines are there. "I'd cut off your head, Master Dwarf, beard and all." Or he doesn't say beard and all, but he says, "Master Dwarf, it stood a little higher from the ground." Cool, tough guy line, right?
It's a great insult, too.
Yeah, and Legolas, "You die before your stroke fell." Whoa, come on.
These are some badass dudes.
Yeah, that's like a Charlie Bronson line or something, like.
Well, and in this scene, after things get diffused by Aragorn, this is also where we get our opening excerpt when the three hunters are given horses to ride, and Legolas lets Gimli ride behind him on the way to Fangorn Forest. And he says, "Come, you shall sit behind me, friend Gimli," said Legolas. "Then all will be well, and you need neither borrow a horse nor be troubled by one." I love that.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. He's like, and that's another thing in with well-developed friendships, right? Like, part of it is acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses of those people, right? And complimenting them.
Yeah.
So like he's saying like, "Hey, I recognize your prowess in other matters, right? But I know about horses, so I'm going to help you with horses. Or I know about boats. You don't seem to know about boats.
Right, just like the boats.
Yeah, I'll help you." Whereas, like, and I feel like all great friendships are like that, right? Like, you complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when the three are deep in Fangorn Forest, they're actually approached by an old man cloaked in white. And they believe him to be Saruman. You all remember this part, right?
Yeah, I just kind of love this. I don't know if it's really a big development in their friendship, but it's just a kind of a funny scene.
I'm glad that you left this in here because I like this part too. Like I said, this is my favorite book, so I remember every beat of this fucking book. But Gimli is straight up encourages Legolas to snipe him. Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
because Aragorn and Legolas are like, "Come, old father," or something
Sit
like
down
that.
by the
Come
fire,
sit by
yeah.
us, and Gimli's like, "Shoot him."
Shoot him where he
Fucking
stands,
shoot
dude.
him.
Get him while
Ask
you
questions
can.
later,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
Of course, we know this is Gandalf the White.
Oh yes, this is when they're in the woods and they come across Gandalf. He encourages them to shoot Gandalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it. Yes, excuse me.
In the movie, he lets an arrow loose, remember?
They do attack.
And that's kind of, I think that's kind of cool, that part. Like, that's a little cool change that Gandalf was just like, deflect. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. He,
Make
like,
your
disarms all three
Make
members.
your sword super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
cool.
was a pretty cool scene. Gandalf flex.
Yeah. Fucking, that movie's just, wow.
It's a pretty good movie.
Check
you
it
guys
out,
should
you
see-
guys.
Yeah, you should see it if
Check
you
it out.
haven't.
I don't know if we've mentioned it before. We're big fans of it. Yeah. Oh, another fun part. And when Legolas, when they stand on the wall of Helm's Deep on the eve of battle, he says, Legolas says that he doesn't like that place. He's not comfortable
Yeah,
in Helm's
he's
Deep.
put off by Helm's Deep. It's very, barren. No
Yeah.
life, no plants.
Yeah.
There's no like forest to be around.
A
Really.
hard place. Yeah. Is that what they mean when they say between a rock and a hard place? Are they referring to, like,
Helm's Deep?
Yeah, Helm's Deep. Yeah.
Between the dike and the outer walls. Or some
yeah,
shit.
of Helm's Deep. Yeah.
Well, Gimli comforts Legolas. He explains the sturdiness of the surrounding mountain and the architecture of the Hornburg or Helm's Deep.
Yeah, I love that.
You know,
Reassures his friend.
It's like, I know this is good, well-built stuff, right? Like, he knows this stuff.
Yeah.
And Legolas responds saying that, he's glad to have a dwarf by his side, like, of all people. And we get an excerpt from The Two Towers, Book 3, Chapter 7, Helm's Deep, read by Danny.
Gimli stood leaning against the breastwork upon the wall. Legolas sat above on the parapet, fingering his bow and peering out into the gloom. "This is more to my liking," said the dwarf, stamping on the stones. "Ever my heart rises as we draw near the mountains. There is good rock here. This country has tough bones. I have felt them in my feet as we came up from the dike. Give me 100 of my kin, and I would make this a place that armies would break upon like water." "I do not doubt it," said Legolas. "But you are a dwarf, and dwarfs are strange folk. I do not like this place, and I shall like it no more by the light of day. But you comfort me, Gimli, and I am glad to have you standing nigh with your stout legs and hard axe. I wish there were more of your kin among us, but even more I would give for 100 good archers of Mirkwood. We shall need them."
I feel like Helm's Deep, this time they spend there is a lot of good development, like a lot of focus on the developing of their friendship, or showing you that they are really good friends now, because we get this, and then we also get like their famous orc slaying contest.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like one of everyone's favorite quirks about their friendship,
I
right?
just thought of something pretty crazy.
What's that?
Helm's Deep is kind of a crucible of friendship. A place where magic is forged, right?
I guess so.
Think about this, because what other great friendship is developing in this time? In the book, not in the film.
Isn't it Éomer
And Aragorn. Who I just realized would make a kick-ass part 3. Friendship is magic, dude. Maybe.
Hey, stay
I just
tuned.
realized that. Dude, that would be I want to write that one. Can I please write that one?
Yes, you have my blessing.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of crazy that this huge event is where these, and then also the friendship between Aragorn and Theoden too.
That's right. Yeah.
That all these things are solidified in this moment, and we come out of this moment where we're almost destroyed, stronger than ever, right? And we go on to face it together as friends. Fuck yeah, friendship is magic.
Best friends forever, best friends forever. Ring. SpongeBob. But yeah, I love the contest they have.
So funny.
Gimli wins by 42 to 41.
Mm-hmm. I love that
love
Gimli has to win in a contest of war, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was the circumstances of the battle, right? I think if it weren't a siege, I think Legolas might like if they were on an expedition type mission, Legolas would do a lot better, I think. Sniping people from the darkness, Rambo style. Whereas Gimli in an open fight with an axe and shit, I think is going to do better.
Yeah.
I think they're both great warriors in their own respect, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Different weapons, different styles of fighting.
Yeah, and it's funny that they come so close together, right? Even because they are total different builds, as you'd say, in the RPG world, right?
Yeah, they're different classes.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I know, and I always thought, because I saw the movies before I read the books, I always thought that was something funny that they added into the movie.
I love how
because it is so
that's a
amusing
joke.
and funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love because in the movie I think they say 42 and he's like, I'm sitting pretty on 43.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
he shoots it and he's like, 43.
Yeah.
He was twitching. He's twitching because he has my axe embedded in his nervous system.
Which is a pure Peter Jackson scene.
I love it.
But like, yeah, they cut it out of the theatrical, but like it belongs in that movie.
I love it. That's also one of those moments, kind of like, how does he know what a nervous system
is?
Like, how did the orcs know what a menu was?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those PJ things.
The PJ things just like, they're funny because they don't make sense sometimes, you know? Yeah. But Gimli's vivid description of the glittering caves of Aglarond, you know, because like Helm's Deep goes, it's like built into the mountain, right?
Yeah, the caves back behind.
Yeah, you get far enough in there and you get to the natural caves, right? And that's called Aglarond, which means the glittering caves are. We also did some etymology. It could mean glorious cave or cave of glory,
because
or cave of radiance, even.
There are these
radiance.
natural caves that are just so naturally beautiful, with like diamonds just showing in the walls and shimmering. Gimli is instantly blown away.
Yeah.
When I think the men of Rohan are having the women and children go back in there for safety, and Gimli goes in there and he's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. He's
what?
He's like mad he didn't see it for sooner. Just like,
shit, didn't tell me this was here.
I would have fought harder.
But this leads to, I don't know, one of my favorite points of dialogue between the two.
Yeah, this is so cool.
And we had to just it's kind of a long excerpt, but we had to throw it out there. Trevor's going to be a trooper and read it for us. So this is from The Two Towers, Book 3, Chapter 8, The Road to Isengard.
"No, you do not understand," said Gimli. "No dwarf could be unmoved by such loveliness. None of Durin's race would mine those caves for stones or ore, not if diamonds and gold could be got there. Do you cut down groves of blossoming trees in the springtime for firewood? We would tend these glades of flowering stone, not quarry them. With cautious skill, tap by tap, a small chip of rock and no more, perhaps, in a whole anxious day. So we would work, and as the years went by, we should open up new ways, and display for the chambers that are still dark, gleam stonely as a void beyond fissures in the rock. And lights, Legolas, we should make lights, such lamps as once shone in Khazad-dûm, and when we wished, we would drive away the night that has lain there since the hills were made, and when we desired rest, we would let the night return." "You move me, Gimli," said Legolas. "I have never heard you speak like this before. Almost you make me regret that I have not seen these caves. Come, let us make this bargain. If we both return safe out of the perils that await us, we will journey for a while together. You shall visit Fangorn with me, and then I will come with you to see Helm's Deep." "That would not be the way of return that I should choose," said Gimli. "But I will endure Fangorn, if I have your promise to come back to the caves and share their wonder with me." "You have my promise," said Legolas.
Ah, yes, the famous promise to go visit each of their favorite places afterwards. I loved that so much.
I also love the dwarfiness of this when he talks about like
he's like,
I don't know if I would want to do that. But.
No, I mean the part when he says like no real dwarf would quarry those caves.
Oh,
like they're so fucking beautiful. No, it's kind of like when you when you get a good baggie and you see like a nug that's just so fucking beautiful you don't even want to smoke it, you know, you just like want to keep it forever,
encased in glass.
This should be in a weed museum, dude. Like
God, I just really love that scene so much.
Yeah, it's so cool. And yeah, the whole like me and Trev, our friendship was kind of like that to begin with, because like you weren't very into movies and I wasn't really into video games. So like when we'd hang out, we'd kind of do cultural exchanges where like I would show you one of my favorite films.
It's true, yep.
Or you would show me, you know, and we'd sit and play some video game that you knew I would love.
Magico.
You know?
We also played a lot of Smash.
Smash was great, yeah.
Well, a lot of Smash, yeah. I mean, yeah. And
Blurby was your go-to for the longest time. Blue Kirby.
Yeah, that's another piece of Danny J lore, I guess. I play as Blue Kirby, and I have for nearly a decade now.
Yeah.
God, well, okay, let's
get back to friendship. Friendship is magic.
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
And, you know, I think there's one of the next points I wanted to touch on that I think really shows the strength that they get from their friendship. The way that their friendship is truly magic.
Well, because this is a test, yo.
This is a severe test
what happens next is scary
of anyone's guts. And the only way I'd ever be able to do this is if I had my best stoutest fucking homies with me.
Yeah.
So we're talking about when Aragorn made it clear his intent to take the paths of the dead. And his two pals, Legolas and Gimli, immediately just willingly volunteer to go with him, a place where most hardened soldiers are terrified to go.
I wonder, like,
and these two are like, if he's going, we're going.
Could you imagine if Trevor just came to us one day, guys? I'm swimming the Bermuda Triangle. I fucking have to.
God.
What the fuck?
I fucking have to.
Gotta do it.
Like, this is a mythical place that nobody wants to go. And Trev's just like, I'm going there. You coming with?
Yeah.
We're going with you.
We're going with
We're
you,
not going to
buddy.
let you do that alone. Triangles have 3 points, bro.
Yeah, there's one for each of us.
Yeah. A crazy place for us to all disappear forever. Yeah, after the Battle of Pelennor Fields, another scary thing that we all endure together and get through with magical friendship, right?
The whole Battle of Pelennor
Fields is more... So if Helm's Deep is a crucible of friendship, this is like the test of that. Whatever was forged in that crucible. Like, this everybody... We got the Pippin and Merry friendship here.
The stress test, yeah.
We got the Aragorn and Éomer. Oh, God, I love that.
That's right.
That reincarnation when he's like, though all the hosts of Mordor lay between, right? I'd say, yeah. Oh, God, so cool. Yeah,
you
there's
have
so many...
the tragedy of the end of the relationship between King Theoden and Éowyn.
And Éowyn, right? Yeah, you have all these friendship things going on here in the midst of this historic event. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, guys. Like, there's friendship all over here, because friendship is magic. But we got an excerpt here from The Return of the King. This is book 6, chapter 9, The Last Debate, which is one of my fucking favorite dialogue chapters ever. I love it.
Yeah, this is an interesting excerpt because it's basically a conversation that Legolas and Gimli have where they talk about the eventual domination of men to come.
Right.
I don't know if it's necessarily a development in their relationship so much as it is a really interesting conversation that two close friends are having.
Yeah, and Joel's going to read it for us.
And doubtless the good stonework is the older and was wrought in the first building, said Gimli. It is ever so with the things that men begin. There is a frost in spring or a blight in summer, and they fail of their purpose. Yet seldom do they fail of their seed, said Legolas. And that will lie in the dust and rot to spring up again in times and places unlooked for. The deeds of men will outlast us, Gimli. And yet come to naught in the end, but might have beens, I guess, said the dwarf. To that the elves know not the answer, said Legolas.
They both know that the age of man is coming.
Yeah, some interesting observations between the two friends.
But the dwarves do hang out in Middle-earth still, right? I mean, they're clear into the Fourth Age. Gimli goes back into Khazad-dûm and everything.
It's true. Like the elves in Middle-earth, they wane. The dwarves, I don't know that they necessarily have the same waning aspect, but nonetheless...
I think they're kind of there to stay because because we talk about the dwarves as kind of like the earth made sentient in a way, like they're the earth race, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're kind of part of the deal. It's like, when you buy a new house and there's roaches in it, like, they come with, you know what I mean? Holy shit, did I just equate them to roaches? I didn't mean to do that.
Wow.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. That was a bad
you know what?
analogy.
Roaches would be one of the few things to survive.
That's right, they do endure.
Nuclear apocalypse. They endure.
They endure.
Not helping the argument.
We love roaches here. On, we all have roaches, don't we, guys?
We all have roaches.
Yeah, pet roaches. Yeah, we all got pet roaches.
So later in Minas Tirith, Gimli and Legolas, they actually brainstorm how they can help rebuild and improve Minas Tirith post-war, right?
Man, that would take a while.
Yeah, rebuilding's people always forget when they do war that it takes a long time to clean up after war.
Oh, these are big mess.
This is their bro Aragorn's city.
Yeah, so they want to make it dope, is what they're saying, right?
And they're going to help their friend do it.
Mm-hmm.
Pimp my city?
Yeah, Pimp My City with Exhibit. Yeah, Exhibit just comes out. That'd be fucking awesome. You just been pimped. Yeah.
Hey, yo, I'm out here in Middle Earth. I'm going to pimp your city.
God, we're millennials. Nobody's anybody younger than us is going to have no idea what we just referenced.
So stupid.
The show Pimp My Ride. I used to watch it every day after school with our homie A B from St. Agnes.
Shout out to A B. I miss that man.
I miss that guy too. If you're listening, we love you.
But we got an excerpt here about this scene here from The Return of the King, Chapter 9, The Last Debate, read by Danny.
There is some good stonework here, Gimli said as he looked at the walls, but also some that is less good, and the streets could be better contrived. When Aragorn comes into his own, I shall offer him the services of the stone rights of the mountain, and we will make this a town to be proud of. They will need more gardens, said Legolas. The houses are dead, and there is too little here that grows and is glad. If Aragorn comes into his own, the people of the wood shall bring him birds that sing and trees that do not die.
I want to see those trees.
Yeah, what the elves have immortal trees?
Yeah, dude, they don't die for no reason.
What?
I just had 2 trees die in my yard.
This
Cost me
bullshit.
thousands of dollars to get them out there.
Dude, for real, dude.
Yeah, it sucks.
Getting trees is literally thousands of dollars
So,
to get that shit out of there. It's
check this
terrible.
out.
We both, yeah.
Check this out, Joel. We actually, I meant to show you this picture. Me and Trev, we just came back from Upper Peninsula, Michigan,
Yeah, buddy.
and we climbed up this high, like overlook tower thing. It's super cool,
Oh.
and you could see all the trees, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
But there were these,
Copper Peak?
yeah, at Copper Peak Adventure Adventure Ride. Check it
Yeah.
out if you're in UP. But anyway, so we're like hundreds of feet above the
Treetops.
the treetops and stuff, and you can see these parts that kind of look like smoke, and it's dead ash trees from the ash disease that's going around the Midwest right now.
Oh, yeah, dude, they stuck out like a sore thumb.
Which is what killed my trees.
Oh,
so you can see
jeez.
patches of the forest that are just dead.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Well, elven
Oh.
trees wouldn't succumb to that.
Yeah, all the ash trees in the Midwest are dying. It sucks. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Oh.
PSA.
Yeah,
For the-
save the ash trees.
Save the ash
Somebody
trees.
figure out what the fuck is going on. Yeah, save the ash trees. Come on here.
Well, I did hear on NPR earlier today that at one point they released a handful of different kinds of wasps that were apparently supposed to help. They don't know
cool.
exactly
my
how,
kid is
but
allergic to those. That's great.
apparently it slows the invasive
Yeah.
growths and things. So somehow
That's
I don't
good.
know
Yeah,
exactly
it's
how they do
it's
that.
a huge
but
problem. I was sad.
it doesn't fix it, but it's more of like a sort of a little topical ointment on a
Yeah.
gaping wound. You know,
Yeah.
like a little something they can do
Yeah, mitigate.
to help mitigate. Anyway,
Save
off
the ash
topic.
trees.
Off topic.
That's a Minnesotan conversation you just had there. Some Midwestern shit.
Yeah, we're talking about Legolas and Gimli.
Yeah, because
That's what we're talking about.
But why though? Because friendship is magic.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget.
Don't forget it. Yeah, during the return journey after the War of the Ring, the two visited many places together, including the glittering caves of Aglarond and Fangorn Forest.
Gotta love it. I love that they follow through with that.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Like, they made that promise and they're like, yeah, man, let's fucking do it.
Do we know how long they spent in each place?
I don't know.
I forget if it says or not.
I don't know that it does say.
I'm not sure, but they hit them both,
But every time I think of them going and walking through, a couple buds walking through the woods together, it makes me think of how we would frequently go for early morning hikes for your birthdays, Trevor. Down
Hell yeah.
down in, what is it? Down in the park there at the Fort Snelling Park.
Yeah,
in
and
the
under the
river
bridges
valley.
and everything.
Yeah, there's so many cool old trees down there.
Down by the river.
Down by the river.
Fort Snelling is really what it was at one point, the most northwestern fort in the United States.
Wow, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's right in the
North
middle
and
of the damn
west.
country.
Now it's like pretty central.
Yeah, damn, we colonized the crap out of this place, didn't we, guys?
Oh, jeez.
Manifest destiny.
Boo.
Boo. Oh, okay.
Well, according to the Red Book of Westmarch, we're getting pretty much to the end here with the history of their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
After the death of King Elisar in 4th Age 120, Legolas, our friend here, built a grey ship in Ithilien, and together with his friend Gimli, they sailed the ship down the river Anduin all the way to the sea, and then westward to Valinor.
Hell
Thus,
yeah.
Gimli became the very first dwarf to ever enter the Undying Lands. It's weird enough when you hear about a man getting there.
Or a hobbit.
Or a hobbit.
Yeah. There's one of them, there's a couple of them over there, too.
Dwarf is like, I feel like that's almost sacrilegious.
I mean, I'm sure there are some more right-wingish elf folks that
Oh my God.
would probably agree with you. Yeah.
Is Gimli the only dwarf to go to
I
Valinor?
think so, as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. But there is
Super high honor.
There is a little explanation as to how this may have come to be. Let's throw out the last excerpt here from The Return of the King. This is actually from Appendix A, Part 3, Durin's Folk.
One of
This is-
Joel's favorite parts of Appendix A.
I love it. We're going to have Trevor read this one for us.
We have heard tell that Legolas took Gimli, Glóin's son, with him because of their great friendship, greater than any that has been between elf and dwarf. If this is true, then it is strange indeed that a dwarf should be willing to leave Middle-earth for any love, or that the Eldar should receive him, or that the lords of the West should permit it. But it is said that Gimli went also out of desire to see again the beauty of Galadriel, and it may be that she, being mighty among the Eldar, obtained this grace for him. More cannot be said of this matter.
Said the person who thinks up all those things.
Yeah, why can more not be said on the matter?
You say it. Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever
dude.
you say.
This is where Tolkien had the 404 error.
Yeah, exactly.
Just page not found.
Page not found.
More cannot be said of this matter.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to start saying that when I don't know about things. It's just like...
more cannot be said about
more
this
cannot
matter.
be said on this matter. We shall move on.
Where were you earlier today? More cannot be said
More
on this
cannot
matter.
be said upon this matter. All right, well, let's get into the next part of our episode. We're going to talk about the significance of this friendship, right? We talked about its development, its budding, its coming to fruition.
Why it was so strange.
Why it was so strange, right? The context for its strangeness.
Right.
And its magicness. And so now we're going to talk about its, like, kind of historical, cultural significance.
The significance of their friendship, especially within the Lord of the Rings, is hard to overstate.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
because of it's like the ultimate example of how friendship can bridge all gaps.
Yes.
And so we did a little research online, and we found some statements by some Tolkien scholars out there that we wanted to kind of talk about for a little bit. So the first one is by the Tolkien scholar Christina Scull. So Christina Scull put it nicely when she said that Legolas's friendship with Gimli is, quote, the greatest reconciliation theme in the book, end quote, given the distrust between the races. And, you know, I thought that was really interesting. That statement there actually is partially what helped me shape this episode.
Yeah, I can see that. That's cool. Yeah, I would say 100% Christina, big up. I think you I agree with you 100%. It's the greatest reconciliation thing.
By the way,
book.
Christina Scull is a longtime Tolkien scholar in the community.
She comes up all the time.
She comes up all the time. She's got some pretty good works out there on the subject. But I just thought this was really interesting. I thought about it and I was like, is this, of all the things that happen in The Lord of the Rings, is this really the greatest reconciliation theme in the book? And it very well may be.
I can't think of another one. I mean, like a Gollum accidentally redeems himself. Wormtongue
almost turns at the end to redeem himself, sort of.
He ate Lotho, dude.
But he ate Lotho. He couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
he couldn't fucking handle it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know about reconciliation there.
I feel like anything close to reconciliation tends to end in death or something.
What about the reconciliation between Barlam and Butterbur?
I mean,
and Gandalf the Wizard.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
that's a pretty big reconciliation.
Yeah, Gandalf and Aragorn are the only two that just abuse the shit out of Barlam. Everyone else has respect for him, except for Gandalf and Aragorn. No, I would say another reconciliation theme, the only one that I could say rivals it, and is Boromir.
Ah, that's a good one. I knew there was something on it.
Boromir, I would say, comes close. If not, they're both equally.
Yeah, but he still dies afterwards.
So that's the thing. Because when you said that,
that brings it down a notch.
He redeems himself with the self-sacrifice, though. Like that's huge.
But these two, like, the thing is, like, the difference between these two is they put aside their differences, they bridge the gap, and because of it, they live a better life. Like Trevor said, it's the end of most people's lives, the reconciliation themes in these books. But this one starts the beginning of a new era of both of their lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a little bit different. I think it's, in that respect, greater. Yes.
We could also look at the reconciliation of King Theoden, I guess, when he sort of comes out of his... Although that was kind of unnatural, though, because it was kind of being put on by Grima, so maybe that doesn't quite count.
But, I mean, it's definitely a reconciliation. It's definitely... I mean, yeah, Theoden definitely has a reconciliation arc, yeah.
I don't think it's his fault, but he definitely tries to reconcile his lack of action.
Well, and then also, I think more so, the lack of action is big, and then also... the lack of he's been a bad father, and that really bothers him.
Yeah,
right. So, like, because in his dotage, he became a shitty father,
and then his son died, and he didn't even go to him or mourn. Really,
yeah. And then he's got these other two adopted kids too, right? Yeah, Éomer and Éowyn. But yes,
I think Denethor really reconciled himself when he jumped into that fire.
He really did, yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite reconciliation.
Gotta put up with this shit no more.
Christ.
He reconciled his lead poisoning by jumping off.
You'd say Faramir reconciled as well when he showed his quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reconciliation themes, and to say that it's pretty great among a lot of great ones is something.
Yeah, to say that the relationship, the friendship between Legolas and Gimli is the greatest of the reconciliation themes in this book, it is a pretty big statement to make.
It is.
I think it might be true.
It might be true.
Because Tolkien spends a lot of time through multiple books showing us how their relationship develops and starts quite testy.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And it is one of the Lord of the Rings is such a great novel because it has so many, you pull the strings and it all comes together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and this is one of those things, like the relationship of Gimli is spread out over 1,000 pages, right? But it's it all, like when we pull it out like this, right? It all kind of comes together into this one theme.
It's beautiful.
And how do you as a writer, Tolkien just never ceases to fucking fascinate me, honestly. How do you as a writer do that? How do you convey solid themes while inserting them into other solid themes that also come together in the end? It's what a writer.
A work of art, really.
Yeah.
And it's great how he's he's doing it all kind of towards the end of the timeline that he wrote, in a way. So he's got all that history to go off, and he's just wrapping it up nicely between two characters after centuries, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tie it up with a little bow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Well done,
done.
Tolkien.
Well, let's jump to a statement by another Tolkien scholar in the Tolkien community.
Yeah, she's an up and comer. This one,
She is, and we're talking about Hannah Mendrow, and she has a couple works that she's got. Oh, more than a couple. She's got some work out in there in the community. She's got some good literature out there. Go read it.
Yeah, check her stuff out.
But she's commented before that the friendship between them does not. It does actually. Excuse me. It makes sense. It's not quite that strange because, in fact, they are both, in a way, the least significant members of the Fellowship.
They are sort of the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Fellowship. That is true.
So she, specifically when you point out and compare them to characters like Gandalf.
Yeah.
Hard to understate the significance of Gandalf. Aragorn, likewise.
Yeah.
Boromir also, or even the Hobbits. The Hobbits defeat Sauron.
You do. It's funny.
And the Witch King.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny because to understand the significance of their friendship, you have to know a decent amount of history. It's kind of it's a little bit of a deeper dive into the lore to understand this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I thought that was an interesting statement to say that Legolas and Gimli are the two least significant members.
Yeah.
I feel like you could even argue that it was a bit of pride that got Legolas to say, I'm going to join you in the first place, right? Because it's such a big mission. The elves should be a part of this. Someone should be there.
Oh, on behalf of, pride on behalf of the elves.
And then Gimli's like, well, if the elf is doing it, I have to do it too.
Yeah.
So they're kind of the only ones really doing it selfishly in that way.
In a way, you're right. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
The Hobbits come because they don't want to be separated from their friend. They don't want to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Aragorn is obviously selflessly being I will help you and I am the king. You will need me.
Yeah, that's a good point, Trev. So it is more, I would say a good way to put it is their shit is more honor or duty driven, honor driven really than the rest of them. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and that's an interesting place to be in, right? What role do you play in the Fellowship with that being your motive, right?
Yeah. And
I think they do both perfectly play that role.
I read that statement and that took me back for a second, but then I thought about it and I think I agree. I think they were. Personally, I think Legolas was probably the least significant of all of them. But that could just be because of my personal love of Gimli.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the Discord recently. Yeah, Joe had posted something about him accomplishing the least. Tolkien actually said that himself.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. If you go by,
I think he also gets the least dialogue too. So he does kind of get the least screen time or page time. So
So if you check out the thread, questions for the group, it's in there somewhere. But we're talking about that aspect of of the whole thing.
But would you guys generally agree that they're the least significant members of the Fellowship?
I mean, it's like saying that Ringo's the least significant Beatle. He's still fucking
Sure.
rule. He still fucking
Sure.
rules. But
Yeah.
like, sure, I guess that's true.
Maybe they have less stake in everything in a way than the other characters do.
Sure.
Mhm.
So like
They're just more or less coming along as
Yeah.
simply representatives of their races. And
they're like
yeah.
some of the best side cast in any story.
Auxiliary
true.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're still main characters in this aspect, but
True.
yeah.
But yeah, I found myself agreeing with that too.
Yeah, 100%. I'd probably agree with that as well.
So another interesting statement that Ms. Hannah Mendro made, I wanted to bring up, was she also commented that the friendship is both strange and comforting, intensely intimate and oddly private, deeply committed, and yet riddled with some gaps. All of this makes their relationship and them perfect candidates for a queer reading.
True. Yes, me and Trevor were actually joking about this while we were on break here.
We actually had this similar conversation come up in
Couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago when we were talking about
Frodo
fan
and Sam.
theories
Mhm.
and Frodo and Sam, another
Yeah.
popular shipping
Yep.
that
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah, and Hannah Mendro is actually known for her work on like queer reading of Tolkien and gender
Something we
gender
need.
study stuff, which is something we desperately
We
fucking
desperately need.
So check out her stuff, guys. But yeah, I would agree with Hannah.
Yeah, she even goes so far as to cite that the friendship came into being largely out of sight as Legolas and Gimli walked together through
In the forests of Lorien.
And-
Trev, what did you just say while Joel was peeing?
Yeah, I wonder what conversations they were having.
He was talking to me about what. Yeah, he's like, "What do you think they were talking about while they were away?"
it had to have been very deep stuff.
That's
very
where-
intimate.
Yeah, it's where it seems the whole like the that was forged. Like everything was like right there. Like they decided after leaving there. All right, like you said earlier, ride or die.
Mm-hmm.
It's what man with the deep conversation. Like what does an elf and a dwarf talk about?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
their homelands are like? Are they bonding together somehow? Do they both have daddy issues? Maybe like.
I think that was a theory of ours a while back.
Yeah, it is very interesting that the development of their friendship is so significant, and yet this moment of their friendship developing does happen largely out of sight.
Yeah.
And she also points out that the relationship is evidently very close and yet kept pretty private.
Mm-hmm.
These are all frequently characteristics of queer relationships.
Yeah, especially in those times, right? It's funny. Another thing you were talking about, like those adventures that they went on after the war, right? We don't know much about them. Those are also like their private own vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear any details, any funny stories, or whatever that came out of these journeys. Just know that it was incredibly private and intimate for these two characters.
Yes,
And that's all that's important.
I hadn't seen it that way before, and that opened my eyes, and I really loved that. That made me really happy to know that there's even more characters that our friends can identify with, like it.
Well, and to say that this is like not the conclusion of many would be a falsehood, right? Because I mean, I joked about it earlier, but we read the gay fanfic on our
we have so
on our
earlier
Patreon.
we did reference the Tolkien Gets Sexy,
Yeah.
a bit we
Mhm.
do on Patreon where we read some funny spicy fanfic, but
and one of them was Legolas and Gimli.
those are also Legolas and Gimli, two of the most frequently shipped characters.
In those type of
Again,
in that type of
there's
literature.
A reason for that.
Yeah, and there's it's not for nothing, as they say,
Right.
Yeah, it's not for nothing.
And I cannot deny that from that literature came one of our favorite lines that has gone down in KOT history: "The throne of balls."
Throne of
I love
balls.
Throne of Balls.
Upon
Sat
his
upon the throne of
throne
balls.
of balls.
Wow.
Oh God,
Oh, geez.
beautiful.
Just the imagery that paints.
The
you know?
imagery.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Lord.
If you guys want to know more about that, go check out the Patreon.
Or you can check out that episode because we pulled a clip from it in the clip-isode that we
The
did.
clip-isode where
Yeah.
we look back on stuff we've done previously.
Yeah, that was at the end of season 8 or some shit.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, that wasn't that long ago. But check that out. Yeah, we talk about, if you want to hear the Throne of Balls part, that's there. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. It's real nasty. But,
it can get pretty gross. Or maybe you do want to listen
or
to
maybe
the
you do
whole- I
want to
don't
hear
know.
the whole thing.
We
You know,
had
I don't
fun.
care what you do with it. It's Patreon material, baby. You paid for it.
We
you know
put
what
it
I mean?
out
Yeah,
there.
we put it out there.
We made it to be listened to.
No
you know?
questions asked. You know what I mean?
Well, that pretty much wraps up what we've got for you today on the subject of their friendship. So just to kind of close out, we really love one, the Friendship is Magic series. I think that's becoming very close to our hearts.
Yeah,
but
totally.
the relationship between Gimli and Legolas is probably my personal favorite. I know a lot of people love the friendship between Frodo and Sam. I don't know why I always thought that was kind of bland.
It is in a way. I mean,
maybe because
that part of
the story always seemed kind of bland to me when you're just following the two of them around versus all the cool ass shit going on.
I think that's
Helm's
slightly
Deep in Pelennor Fields.
Peter Jackson's fault. I think is a little bit because those parts kind of drag in the movie. I think a little bit
in the book too, a little bit. But maybe that's just my personal opinion. Oh Jesus Christ!
No, I just think it's worse in the movie than it is in the book. But I agree with you.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, friendship is magic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just. Again, this whole thing that you're listening to, this whole 121 episode, Jesus, we're on 121? What the fuck?
Jesus Christ. When are we going to stop?
When are we going to stop? Who will stop us?
Somebody stop
me. Yeah. Oh, God, what a reference. Holy shit. Yeah, but Friendship built this podcast, and it continues to build it and grow it, right? We have all, the more people that listen to us, the more friends we make, and that's fucking awesome. We have friends all over this crazy rock, spinning through space, right?
Hurling through the void.
Yeah.
Spiraling around the sun, which is also spiraling around a big black hole.
We're all spiraling.
As our entire universe hurls forward into the emptiness of nothingness.
Right.
The unknown.
Yeah, we're all friends. That's what we're saying. In conclusion, we're all friends.
We have each other.
Yeah, we have each other, and that's the only thing that's going to get us through. And that's what these Friendship is Magic episodes are screaming to teach you, please.
That really is what these are all about.
Yes, please. Value friendship, make friendship, proliferate friendship, strengthen friendship, just solidarity forever. You know what I mean?
You can find it in the most unexpected places.
Sure can.
These two never expected to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look no further. If you find somebody that you meet and you just like, I don't like that person. I don't think I ever will. Think of Legolas and Gimli. Mm-hmm. Like they literally have 1,000-year history, thousands of years history keeping them up from being friends.
Yeah, they couldn't be further distant from seeing each other's views
at the starting point. Yeah, and like they get to the point where they're just like, you know what, fuck that. I don't care what people say. Like
ultimately, we're on the same team.
Yeah, we're on the same and we're on the same page too. Like we believe that our friendship is worth putting the time and effort into, and fuck what everyone else says, because there's definitely going to be some elves that don't like it.
Yep.
There's definitely going to be some dwarves that don't like it, and they both say fuck them. We're friends, and we don't care who sees us riding on the same horse.
Hell yeah,
through fucking Fangorn together,
going down the same boat together.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, exactly. But I think is that it?
I think that's all. That's all I got.
That's all I got for today. What about you, Trev?
Should I come up with something on the spot?
I mean, you could.
Trevor, say something.
No, I think that's a good final thoughts for today. I think that's pretty good. Next week we got episode 122, the 2025 Halloween special.
Yes, and we should also point out that this next episode is likely going to be the last one for this run.
Yes.
Just because we're getting towards the end of our year. I've got a baby coming.
Yeah, you got a baby coming, so we're gonna reconvene once that happens.
The baby comes in early December.
Yeah, so we'll be the Christmas or the holiday special. We'll have Joel will be a new father.
It'll be very special,
and I'm sure he'll be drunk as hell because he will need it.
I'll need the break, I'm sure.
Yeah, but spoiler alert that the Halloween special also Tolkien Mysteries Part 3. That's right, it's the spoopy edition part of Tolkien Mysteries. It's going to be a Halloween special and Tolkien Mysteries, guys, because mysteries are spooky.
Mysteries are spooky, and we love Tolkien Mysteries.
We sure do.
Especially Tolkien Mysteries. So many dark corners in this universe. You never know what you might find.
You never know. Murder, sorcery, and ghosts, maybe. We'll see.
Something around every corner.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the KOT Podcast. Please subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Please also stay up to date on us and keep up to date on our new episodes. That's awesome, too. Please also rate us or give us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts or just wherever. Talk positively about us constantly. It helps. I mean, even if you scream it into a sock and throw it over a freeway overpass, it'll help.
We appreciate it.
It'll help. Also, check out our new website, which is keepontolkien.com, and that's everything you'll ever need for your KOT needs. It's a hub, really. Check it out, guys.
Check it out.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Also, a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon, especially to our certified Tolkieneers, a big shout out. These are the folks who chose to go the extra mile. We love you guys. You really help us out so much. We're talking about Rob C. We're talking Nienna. We're talking Jessica G. And, of course, Carms CP. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you. And go back and re-listen to that filthy Tolkien Gets Sexy, because you guys have access to that.
Oh, yeah, you
The
do.
whole uncensored thing.
Well, yeah, don't forget, subscribing on Patreon not only supports us, but it also unlocks some exclusive content. Check it out, patreon.com/KOT podcast. And we also have some private one-time donations. If, subscription services aren't your speed, that's totally fine. We understand. We appreciate you no matter what you're willing to give.
Yes. And just, thanks for listening. If you don't, if you can't, we get it. But yes, if you can, please do.
But also, if you want to find another way to support us that isn't just financially, we like that. Of course, we do.
We love that too.
But come check us out on Discord.
Oh, yeah, the community.
Yeah, the community on Discord is fucking cool. We have discussions and everything every fucking day.
There's always stuff in there.
From all over the world, all walks of life. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Tolkien connects everybody all across the world.
And that's the thing. We all come together with shared love of Tolkien, and we've all built friendship. And what's funny is, you realize people who like Tolkien also have other interests in common, right? So we talk about those too. It's kind of just a real nerdy place to hang out and chat. So come out, join the Discord, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and that should be your first stop. If you want to hit the other couple houses along the way, you can find us on TikTok. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and you can find all the links for those places at our website, keepontolkien.com. Because, again, like we said, it's the hub for all things. You can find all the links. And, again, Discord's your first one. Ready, go.
Mm-hmm. It's the second most famous hub on the internet.
Additionally, if you find yourself wanting to represent KOT and share the love with everyone else, maybe pick up a t-shirt in our merch store or a hat, a cool memorabilia thing for you to have. And, we thank you for listening.
Yeah, I think that's it for today. We're just three friends here signing off after, talking about friendship for a couple hours.
It was magical.
And it was magical because, of course, one more time, friendship is magic. Yeah, that's right. I'm Danny J.
I'm Joel N.
I'm Trevor D.
And together we are...
Keep on Tolkien.
All right, into the friendship is magic. Oh, I did it one more time, you guys. Fucking... you knew it wasn't the last time.
Dare.